Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's 11:11, which is a very lucky number. We're going to get started here. I'm going to go over the futures here in a few seconds, but I'm about to demonstrate our alerts here at Trendy Trading. And again, you guys know, right? I'm always patting myself on the back, but we got some amazing uh, people here in Trendy Trading, and one of my bestest workers here, who just gives us probably the most incredible transparency, is our developer BZ. If you're interested, anybody out there that might be running a service or educational, I highly encourage you to get transparent alerts. Now, what this is tied into my actual account. And I'll be taking a trade here in a second, just a small trade to get started. But I want to talk about it just really fast, how I look at a trade and the way I approach a trade with risk versus reward and so forth. So this morning I talked to you about Netflix, and we were looking for the reclaim and the reclaim of the Trendy Edge and the 9 EMA here. What we have here in the background, this is Discord. Okay, this is my room, and these are the live alerts. And what I have in the background here is an actual dome of the option that I'm interested in. And what this is Netflix 500 calls for next week. All right, so there's a couple things I can do here. Depending on which way this goes, if it goes against me, I can also sell the 510s and kind of offset my risk here. But right now, I'm just looking at naked directional buying these calls, the 500s. Okay, but I want to talk about it really quick before we just pull the trigger, before I just pull the trigger. Um, I want you to take your attention down here to the lower left-hand screen, and this is just a quick intro in how I use Delta. All right, a lot of people say they don't pay attention to Delta, which I think is absolutely nuts. But the Delta is giving you an idea that change for each dollar move in the underlying equity. So if I take this trade and Netflix goes down against me, I want you to notice here on the 500s. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and highlight this. This is the 500 area, 500 strike for the call, and it has an expiration of 9 days. And my delta right now is at around 32. Now, before I take this trade, I need to figure out, well, where am I okay with my risk, right? I have to be able to accept my loss before I take a trade. All right. And so we're going to assess that. And then what we're going to do is multiply that by this delta. Now, what I want you to understand is this does not take into account for overnight risk. Okay, we could do all the math we want in the world. I could take this trade, it could work against me if I hold it, and for some reason the market tanks and Netflix goes down 20 bucks. All right, it's very plausible. It can happen, but every time we take a trade, it is risky. All right, so let's go ahead and go up here. I'm going to look at Netflix. And so far, the market is doing what I expected. It's kind of sideways action. The high of the day, the high of the week, which was Monday, we can't get up there. So we're just consolidating, and we're consolidating pretty healthy here. All right. And so the same thing's going on here with Netflix. Nice little inside and up, a little bit of sideways action. We are holding both of these edges. I'm going to go ahead and place a line here around my edges and just kind of get an idea. So right now it's trading at 485 and this is 478. That's about $7 of risk. So as an estimate, I would come down here 7 times 3. Let's just do it that way. That's about $210, right? 7, 14, 21, right? So that's what we'd be looking for. $30 per dollar times 7. I'm looking at about $210 of risk. Okay, that's per contract. Now, another thing that I like to do is start positions. I'm big on starting positions. I don't ever want to get FOMO. I could care less if it gaps up tomorrow and I didn't buy more than one position or more than 10 or whatever the case is. Okay, so I can start here and I can give the rest of the day because it is 11:54 here. We have about 3 hours left in the market. It's not the best time to be taking trades. So again, starter, small allocation. I'm looking for a push up into this 495 as long as we can hold here. You can also see my reward is 10 and my stop would be 7. That's not the greatest. I can make this tighter. If I want, I can just watch the 9 EMA here on the 4H, which is probably what I'll end up doing. I just need that to close over the 9 tonight. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I have my assessment. I'm going to go small, just start with one. I want you to watch here and you're going to see our alerts, just how quick they are. And so the first thing I want to do is before I pull the trigger is I want to make sure that this is set on one. Okay, and it is. And this is the dome. So this is the bid and ask. And I want to go ahead and try to get a position. You can see here we're just kind of stalled out. Okay, let it come down a little bit. It's coming back into the ME. We're just going to be patient. You can see some people lined up around here around 510. You can see the people here, probably the people that are listening to me now. Hey, yeah, I'll sell that to you, right? So I'm just going to kind of get somewhere in the middle here. I'm going to go for 525. And I apologize, that just disappeared. And there you go right there. You can see how fast it comes up. It tells you I did buy one call at 525. And you can also check this on time and sells. And you can see me come in here at $5.25 at 1155.50. So if you come over here, notice that this right here, okay, so the time is different, right? Time is different on my program, but you can see here it says 12:55 here, and it's 11:55 down here. I got to check into that and see why it says that. It's probably some kind of time difference in TOS that I have set. So we'll have to check that out. But regardless, you can see that it's 525. It's very transparent. You can see that it works. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. And let's get back into the big screen and go over the market. Let's do it. Let's go into the ES futures. All right. Remember, everything that I've been checking today is on a 4-hour. I'm checking out the 9 EMA. Prices steadily rounding out here. We're getting closer to the box. Once this moves up into here, if I'm long anything, like currently I'm long some Apple, I would expect if the ES can push up into here, I would expect rejection, and I'll probably close out the rest of my Apple equity. If you come back over here into my alerts, you will see live alerts. You can see that I have been stopped out in one position today. That was ABBV. This was one of my trade plans. It didn't quite work. That's okay. Got stopped out. I got in at like 99, and then I got stopped out at 97. And then down here on Apple, got in at 118.94, and so far I've just trimmed a couple times. All right, and then you can see I got into Netflix. Now let's go over here to my complex options. This is going to be spreads and so forth. All right, and so here on GS, this was actually a win. This is just the last position that I closed. I did trim GS yesterday, and you can see right here, 42%. And then on the remainder, it was a negative 14%. Overall, it was a win. Okay. All right. So then coming down here, you can see that I also closed HG today for 45%. These are spreads. Again, transparency at its finest. ES futures moving up nicely from the 9 EMA. What do I expect? As I said before, after Monday's big run, I would have an alert here. Okay. And then at your major levels, I showed you this morning, the 38.2 is around the trendy edge, right around here. I would just set alerts. Everything between here is noise unless you're just kind of scalping on the day and so forth. The better trade, the easier trade is going to be outside of those levels. Again, the bigger trade is outside of these levels, okay, like this. Everything between is consolidation for now, okay? And that is ES futures. Let's go ahead and look at Amazon. So today I did want to concentrate on FANG stocks, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt, but I'm not too hard on myself most of the time because I've been around long enough to understand that tomorrow will present another day for all of us. All right. So we kind of seize the moment, but I did specifically go over FANG stocks today. And what I like to do is what we call focus trades. And these daily focus trades do have a plan on them. And you can see right here was Amazon's. And let me go ahead and open the original for you. And I'll bring that down so everyone can see it a little bit better. Okay, there it is right there. It says watch the 9. So again, this morning we talked about the 9, and once price gets over the trendy edge, that's that pink marker there, you can start and then add above this 9, and then we talked about resistance at 31.49. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that now. Here we are. We pushed over the trendy edge. Nice move above the 9. And so far, we are holding the 9. And as we get close to the top of the curve, we start to see some resistance here at or around 31.49. Now, if you could imagine what I just showed you on the ES, all right, and just imagine if the ES comes into that red box before the end of the day, we could maybe get a nice little push here into 31.49. You'll see how these synergistically come together. It's pretty neat. Okay. All right. The next one I want to show you, Facebook. I actually got into Facebook as well. It is coming down quite a bit from where I bought. The position itself is down 19%. So, I mean, it's not horrible. And it's a longer position. It is 9 days out. I bought the 280 calls. All right. And so far, though, everything looks great. It's just that low volume today. It's a holiday. We're not seeing a lot of participation. So, right now, again, it's just noise. What I would like to see on Facebook is a close at least above these green arrows or above the 9 EMA today, and then I would like to see a move progress into the 281.80 level. Okay. Again, everything for myself has already been mapped out, and I'm okay with the risk that I have on. Let's go ahead and go over here into Apple. All right, so Apple was a nice trade as well. This morning we started here. We looked for resistance until it's not at the edge. I took the trade here, and then I trimmed up here, and then we're waiting to see if we can get into 120.05. So I'll just create an alert right here, right before my alert, and this will probably be my last trim, or I'll get stopped out on the remainder under 118. All right, I also got into BUD, Bud Light. I think that's what it is, or Budweiser. I said Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, that's what it is. So nice little push here, but it's just, it's sideways. So I'm actually, what you're seeing is some theta burn in the options that I went ahead and took, but it's still interesting to watch, especially for new traders, so you can understand that even though price may move up from the time you got in, if it just kind of goes sideways, that's called theta burn. All right, so that's what we're seeing there. Now, I'm interested to see, do any of you have anything that you would like me to cover specifically while I have this very quick update here this afternoon? And then for me, I want to enjoy the rest of my day. No, so the delta is not always 30 to 40. I don't always use 30 to 40. If you prefer, higher risk, you can go deeper in the money. I mean, here's my thing. You go with a delta 100, it's like me buying 100 shares of something. You know what I mean? So you can go deep in the money. It's the same thing. I like to trade equity as well. Um, so that's how I look at that. And let me look at this Apple just really quick. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So let's look at BABA just really fast as well. So that BUD, what I'm looking for is 69.22, as long as 63.79 holds. All right. So BABA, is it coming back? Not sure, right? Same thing. Check out the 9 EMA on the 4H. I told you everything is a go-to today is the 4-hour. So respect it, understand it, use it. BABA needs over this 9 EMA, and then we could see a push into at around 288. I do have longer dated calls on this. I did short this into this level yesterday and made 160%. That subsequently, it also paid for my long position. Well, I take that back. I was just short about 30 to 40 bucks. So I almost financed the entire position just by shorting this. And I teach that, right? So I took longer dated calls, for somewhere up here, and then I bought, put debit spreads for this target here. And as price went down to there, I covered, and then I paid for this position up here. Okay. Not the way I like to do it, but I don't know. There's something about BABA when I took it. I said, well, this time I may want to hedge this position. And the reason why I believe it was on the daily and I was looking down here. It was this right here. Yeah, it was this gap fill that was getting my attention. So if anybody's been in BABA and they got smacked, this was what I was looking for. All right. Nice little move from here. Price came back into that. And as it comes up, you want to see as it comes up, can it get back above that level? Okay. And then what you get is an inside and up, and then you can get a potential move into this 9 EMA on the daily. Cool. Yeah, no problem. Let's go over Shaq. All right, so it's down $2 today. It was down a little bit yesterday. I have a position in this long term. It has 37 days on it right now. And what I'm looking for, these are dailies, 2 to 3 days down. All right, and then I'm looking for a move back up. At this time, what I'll be looking to do is add into my position right here at the EMA and the trendy edge. Now, anybody out there watching, hopefully you can learn something from this, is if you have an actual process and you have levels that are on your screen every day, right? It makes it a lot easier. So when you start a position, you understand your risk and so forth. And when you start a position, it's not 100% allocated. So you look at the math and you go, okay, every time I take a position, what is 100% allocation for me? 100% allocation for me might be $3,000. If I take a $500 position, then I'm not fully allocated. What that does, it allows me to take a position again at a level that means something to me, the trendy edge, the 9 EMA, and so forth. So then I start or I add here, all right, and I'm still not fully allocated. And if price does what I need it to do, I can add back over this level, okay? And then I'm looking for my target up here at $98. All right. Yeah, I can definitely look at COST. All right, COST looks really nice. This yesterday, I wanted to take this. Can one of you guys tell me why I wanted to take this? Mo, can you tell me why? I should have, but it's okay. I didn't. I took HD instead. It worked out. Yeah, well, it's an ACDC, but what else do you see there? Came into the trendy edge, right? It reclaimed it. Yep. And it's an inside candle. Okay. Inside is the first sign of a reversal. But, if you didn't have a trendy edge there, then I don't know. Maybe you don't think that way. I think, hey, man, it's supported and it's an inside. I'm looking for this move up. And now you can see it's above the 9 EMA. Possible bigger move into the next trendy edge at around 381. Riley, we actually don't go over that. Those are actual proprietary scripts here. But I do teach you how to trade them. So members have them on their screens. Very few that don't, but we do trade just the methodology here. What's the time frame on this? This is a daily inside and up. Yep, looking good, man. And earnings is December the 10th. So you got a little bit of time here. Also, a couple things you can do if anyone's watching, kind of give you some tips and tricks. Make sure, pattern recognition, standard deviations. You can go across, I love doing this with people, and especially on the daily charts. You take something like this, all right, and let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and clear this drawing set, okay. And what we want to do, you can use any kind of tool you want to. I use Zoomit, Zoomit. It's free. It's just an app. But I like to look at standard deviations. So this is a deviation. This is a deviation. This is one. Okay. This is one. This is just sideways action. Okay. Right here, sideways action. Right here, sideways. Okay, just like this. Now, what you can do, you go back about a year or two, whatever you feel like doing, and then you can look at these arrows and you can say, hey, this arrow looks like this one looks like this one looks like this one, and this one looks like this one. So you can say that the standard deviation is this here. Now, don't let this blow your mind. All you got to do is take your thumb and your finger, and you can measure that. And then you're going to come over here to the right. I know you guys can't see me. And you're going to use the numbers like where 300 here is on the right. And it looks like the standard deviation is about 30 bucks. Okay, that's like a standard move. Now watch this. We found that the trendy edge worked, and we see that it can resist here around this level. Okay, so right in here, that's 384, 381 by 384. Okay, and you can see here 363. Now that's about 20, and to the top of this candle is about 30. So a standard deviation move would put us up into the upper range of these trendy edges. Okay, so it would look like this. Okay, which looks like this. Okay, pretty cool. All right. All right, so that's what we're looking at on Costco. Yeah, actually looks really good, doesn't it? Makes me want to take it, man. I'm trying not to FOMO. Come on, Mo. Very nice. Good job, man. Good job. Anyways, there's some good trades, some trades that pull back on me, like CAT. Let me show you an example of that. Now, some members actually added down here at the trendy edge, and you can see it paid off. It actually bounced up pretty nicely. A little disappointed in this. I took it slow, took a starter here, and then I added. So I took spreads here as a starter, and then I took one directional yesterday, and it's come all the way back on me, which is all right. But I like to see this area hold. I like to see it reverse. I'm not seeing any news out there. Potentially something like this. Okay, I do have a longer dated trade. Let's go ahead and look at Roku. Roku, same thing, about the daily 9. It's an AC/DC setup. It looks, you know, these were from last week or the week before. We hit our targets up here, right? And you can see here is a little bit, if we were to take the most recent range, which is right here, and measure this. So from here to here, just like that. All right, you can apply the methodology here. All right, we won't go over that specifically, but you could see skull tone. Basically, what you want is above that trendy edge. That's where this thing can really start flying. Okay, right now it's in a indecisive pattern where it's just bouncing, but it is kind of at an indecision point. All right. All right, guys. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope everybody does well. Again, I have all my alerts set. Just try to relax, find something to do. Set those alerts at your stops and add high a day. And if we get above high a days, I'll look at adding. If I get stopped out, I just get stopped. All right. Own your trade, accept it, have a plan, execute, rinse, repeat.